But Smitty, what if Travis Hunter doesn't play wide receiver? What if he plays more DB? Aren't we risking it by drafting him too high, Smitty? So many people have doubted this kid and the pathway, the trajectory that is Travis Hunter in the NFL. The top 5 to 10 wide receiver potential that he carried in, even early stages of the NFL scouting process and the combine and everything else. Everybody kept worrying. Scared money don't make money. And here on the channel, we've been drafting the Travis Hunter shares over and over and over, pounding the table. And this word coming out, just more clarification. We knew all this, but just when you hear anything like this, it makes it even more glorious. But NFL Network reporting that Travis Hunter will primarily practice with the offense during the Jaguars rookie camp. Throughout, though his defensive participation is currently unknown, and he will be primarily wide receiver, this is going to potentially be even a higher percentage than the most optimistic forecast would have it. And I'm definitely one of the highest optimistic forecast of target share. It's 70% to me. That's what I've been thinking the entire offseason. Even if it was in the worst case scenarios 55-60, he's running out onto the field to touch the ball, not to go run a pointless go route to get tired and then go back to defense. But here we are getting more confirmation that glory is upon us. Travis Hunter is upon us. Travis Hunter is about to explode. And if you didn't know, now you know. He's been a supernova. He's been a Jupiter man.
Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Mars man. He's been a Mars man since February 22nd. He's been a supernova
aimlessly in space
player since, I don't know when we put this up. Was it February or was it early March?
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8
rookie,
supernovas.
Jetty, Bucky, sophomore. Hendy, rookie.
They are the 8
Junior, sophomore. Lamb Chops, the only veteran. Hunter, rookie. Harvey, rookie. Those are the grads.
Looking at the 8 supernovas.
Look at him.
The magnificent 8.
We told you.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
You know, I had a couple people reach out to me yesterday. One was a pretty loyal, follower from a while ago. One is a current loyal follower, and then one is a hater. So three people said, "What do we become? The I told you show? I told you so show?" And I said, "Yeah."
Let him cook.
We told you. What do you want from me? What do you want me to change? Okay, so look, Hunter's going in the, and by the way, we just hit 32K about a minute into this live stream. 32K.
Mashed potatoes.
Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you're new. Be 32,001. 32,001K. I changed it right before we went live because we're sitting there at 31,999. Now we're at 32,002. Appreciate you. Hit subscribe. Be a part of the movement. We're growing and doing it live. But we also have, I believe, 50 gifted memberships dropped. Remember, BBQ told you that today would be gifted membership day. And I'm glad all of you showed up because 138 of you that are in here already are going to be subjected to some potential gift giving
as BBQ drops 50 gifted memberships on the channel right at the open.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Right at the open. You gotta love it. Just as that happens, you gotta love the fact that this guy is in respectable fashion. It's kind of a downer that he's not going around 910. We got him in 910. We got him in 910.
Mashed potatoes!
For countless months in the 9th and 10th round. What a marvel. What an amazing move for the show. This has got to be, Travis Hunter, the best offseason call we've made so far. The 9th and 10th round, pounding the Travis Hunter shares over and over and over on Underdog. Promo code Smitty will be drafting tonight. Make sure you hit this link. I'll drop it in the live chat now. Here's the link right here in the live chat. Hit that. It's also pinned in the live chat. It's in the description of every video. But we'll be drafting tonight. You want to hit that link, get that bonus match as well. But we'll be drafting, and Hunter's going around 4. He's going cemented and comfortably, consistently, always in round 4. There's no round 5 shares anymore. There's no round 6. But that is in best ball, where wide receiver is, everyone's hungry for it. They just consume wide receiver as if it's, the only thing out there. And it's even 0.5 PPR on Underdog, which is even more head scratching that the industry, the best ball industry, has driven everyone into this. Go get a wide receiver. Go get a wide receiver. And in fairness to those that do partake in that, more subscribers are coming in, 32,005. So appreciate the 5 new ones that have hit the button already. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. But look, the perpetuation of getting wide receiver is a scared tactic that is not planned by any one community, but the community itself has created a movement to go get wide receiver early in best ball. And what's happening is we're borrowing wide receivers from round 3, pulling them into the bottom of 2, and that thus pulls wide receivers from round 4, pulls them into 3. That's why you have Jamo Williams going at the 3-4 turn when he has no business going there. That's one of the worst draft selections you can make in 2025. Jamo is your almost third drafted player, or in some cases third drafted player, to the top of round 4. No one's saying that Jamo's not a monster. We love Jamo. I love Jamo. We told you about Jamo. Okay, but that doesn't mean that Jamo's somebody you grab in round 3. We love Bucky Irving. We take Bucky Bass all the time on this channel.
Get buckied.
All the time.
Buckied.
Does that mean we take Bucky at number 5 overall? Well, we like him though, Smitty. We like him. Don't you like Bucky? I thought you liked Bucky. I'm not taking him 5 overall because I don't need to. Jamo shouldn't go at the bottom of 3, top of 4, but the best ball industry is just pulling these wide receivers up. So my point here is this. He's worth it still. He's worth it still. Hunter and best ball is still worth the 4th round grab. We got some muted audio because of the gifted membership. So sorry about that. But the 4th round value of Hunter in best ball is perfectly fine. But what I'm trying to tell you here, the glorious part about what I'm trying to tell you here is that in non-best ball, you're getting them here in best ball, in non-best ball, in these territories. That's kind of where you get Travis Hunter, anywhere from the 4 to the 4.12. This is where Hunter's going. In non-best ball, he's going at least in round 5. You're getting him sometimes in the 5-6 turn, because Grandma and Edna, they don't know what's going on. And Edna hasn't bought her fantasy magazine yet. Uncle Buck hasn't even decided to pull up a YouTube channel yet. So no one knows how good Travis Hunter is. They think he's still maybe going to be a defensive back / wide receiver instead of a wide receiver that plays and dabbles and just plays around with cornerback right now. That's what Aunt Edna and Steve and Uncle Bob and Bill from accounting and Maggie from repo, none of those people know what's going on in non-best ball. So they're getting their feet wet. And granted, there's a risk that by the time your draft comes around in August, the advantage that you have now where you can't even draft and redraft, you could just anticipate in redraft, that gap might be closed. And so maybe and there's a risk that Hunter truly climbs in non-best ball in home leagues into 4 gradually. But maybe you can draft now. Maybe you can move your draft ahead. People that say, Smitty, you shouldn't draft early because injuries can happen. Or the best ball masters out there that tell you the best time to draft is in August. Save your best ball manias and your drafts till August. No siree. No siree. Maybe there are injuries you could avoid. Granted, there are some advantages. No doubt about it. That's why I draft throughout the entirety of the offseason. I get my mix of August. I get my mix of July, June. There's good things that come with all of these territories of drafting, because in August you might have someone get hurt and then you won't draft them and be down and out, right? But other people are going to potentially miss out on what you capitalized on. I don't care if I drafted, like, let's say Aaron Rodgers as my 3rd quarterback and Aaron Rodgers retires, and I have Aaron Rodgers, let's say, in 25 drafts in the past. Well, guess what? Those 25 drafts, probably 17 of them have Travis Hunter in round number 10. Travis Hunter in round number 9. In 9, 10.
Let him cook.
I'm smashing. You're smashing. So pros and cons to drafting early. Don't listen to the pundits and people that tell you it's this, it's that. Oh, don't have a certain percentage. You should never have more than 13% ownership of one single player. It's just not good to have too much ownership of one individual player. My example, Smitty, is that I've been told by the Mickey Mouse creator over here that about 13% is the max you ever want to have in one single player. You know what I have to say to that? You know what I have to say to that? I'll tell you.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hate mask coming back now.
Let's just take a little gander at all of the different shares I have of some guys. Let's take a look at my roster percentage of ownership. Here's some guys. Fannin. 50% of my drafts I have Fannin. I mean, this is only in the post NFL draft time frame. So these are the best ball manias, the puppy, the schnauzer. So I've got Fannin 50%. That's not my top one either. I'm just throwing some on here. That's a grouping here. Cam Scattaboo, 69% of my drafts, $158 in entry fees so far. And Scattaboo, do it live, Scatty boy. Do it live.
What is that smell? Someone needs me.
Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week! Somebody help! Call the Scat Man!
I am Scatman. Who needs my help? Wow. Bang, bang, boom. To the moon. Now it's time to go pick up your mother.
I own 69% of the Scat Man. 69% of my drafts, Best Ball Mania, Puppy, Schnauzer, weekly winners, I believe, are in this as well. I have 69% shares of. Doing it live. Smitty, you shouldn't. Mahomes, 65% of my drafts have Mahomes. And that doesn't even mean that, like, I'd say about 40% of those are in Bully QB. So it's not like I'm just drafting Mahomes as my only quarterback. That's Bully QB. Patrick Mahomes, Charbonnet. Let's put this together because I actually have Charbonnet in 61% of my drafts so far, and Best Ball Mania and those. So we're doing it live. We're doing some damage. Here's a couple others. Let me just Breece Hall, 34%. I need to up that. That's a little low. We can pump those are rookie numbers. We can pump those up. Mahomes 65%, Charbonnet 61, Jalen Royals 61, Tank Bigsby 57, Kyle Williams 57, Deebo Samuel 53, Travis Kelce at 53, just because he's such a good value. These are some of the percentages of ownership that your boy is dropping against the industry. 13. You never draft. This is called brute force drafting. You never draft more than 13% of one guy, Smitty. What are you doing? I'm doing me. This is how I roll. And yeah, you could fail. You could have a really bad year. But then again, what I tell you with the brute force drafting, where I'm doing this kind of thing, this is what I call coined brute force drafting. Essentially, in certain contests, you're going to go heavy on certain things. Like in the big boards, I'm going heavy on different things. So if, let's say, a lot of the things don't work out, or some of them in here, they're not affecting my big boards or my superflex drafts necessarily. So you're going to kind of at times pick and choose what it is you're going to go heavy on, and use the contest to kind of drive you into a new direction and do it that way. That's a lot of the way that I do it. And it's the way Dad did it. It's the way America does it. And it's worked out pretty good so far. Actually, America doesn't do it because the average person is following the trend of the regular best ball strategy. So this is a Travis Hunter live stream. We'll obviously open the phone lines. You can discuss whatever you want. It would be nice if you called in and you wanted to discuss a little Travis Hunter first, because that is the man of the hour. Travis Hunter to the motherfreaking moon. We do need a new Travis Hunter video outside of the Supernova video. Can I get a Supernova drop? Can I also get a BBQ emoji for dropping 50 gifted memberships already? BBQ is a gifted Maverick. He's a gifted Maverick, gifted membership Maverick, guys. Let's see if Kruger remembers the nickname he gave him. Hey, Kruger, BBQ just dropped 50 gifted memberships already to start off the live stream today. You know we're live right now. I tell you we're live at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. What day is it, Kruger?
It's Friday, Smitty. And shout out to BBQ for those 50 gifted memberships. Our community is starting off strong tonight. Let's get everyone settled in and ready to dive into the latest NFL news and fantasy insights.
Hey, what? Okay, you're a little long-winded there. Shorten it up. But BBQ, what did you nickname him?
Got it. His nickname is the Pitmaster. Let's roll.
What? The Pitmaster? No, it had to do with Maverick. The Pitmaster.
Thanks for the reminder.
I don't think you remember anything. Do you even know what's going on? Okay, anyway, Kruger, you're off today. But anyway, the Pitmaster just dropped 50 gifted memberships, so thank you, Pitmaster. Also, we're talking Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter, as you know, Kruger, was rumored to be potentially a wide receiver, a defensive back. People in fantasy football were worried about what position he'd play, so they were worried and scared and crying and complaining to the Mickey Mouse content creators next door that maybe they should wait and see how it goes. We didn't. We went all in. So Travis Hunter, who's now practicing primarily as a wide receiver and will do so in rookie camp, we don't know what he's going to do on defense. He's going to sparingly play on defense at first. And I'm not even scared if he plays 30, 40% on defense. He's that good of a player. Kruger, I'm thinking 1,250 receiving yards, 80 receptions plus, and 12 plus touchdowns for Travis Hunter. What do you say to that, Kruger? What do you say?
That's a bold and exciting prediction, Smitty. With his talent and versatility, those numbers are definitely within reach. If he hits those marks, he'll be a league-winning asset for anyone who trusted in him early. The community knew what was up from the start.
All right, attaboy, thanks, Kruger. All right, let me go over to the super chat here, then we're going to open the phone lines. This is from BBQ himself. BBQ said, gifted membership, smash the like button. Second rule, make sure you can receive a gifted membership in your account. And if someone could, in the chat, let someone know exactly the steps to do that. You could also Google it. But you need to make sure you have it turned on. Far too many people say, I'm not getting a gifted membership when BBQ's dropping them like fire. And if those of you in the chat already have a gifted membership, and you're not going to get one, obviously, but those that don't have a gifted membership that aren't getting these, that's why. And if there are people in that don't have it turned on, then it'll start giving them randomly to people that aren't watching that don't have a gifted membership. So that's how it rolls. If you want one, you'll get one probably today if you just turn on the feature. Phone lines open. Let's do it live. This super chat is from Sir Brooks, would you trade Garrett Wilson plus a 25 1.7 and Tyreek for CD Lamb? 25 1.7. That's tough because I like Garrett Wilson a lot, and the 1.7 could be Harvey. My initial reaction is go get lamb chops, but guys, what do you say? Risk the biscuit to get Harvey, so Garrett Wilson and Harvey, or CD Lamb? I think if you want to risk it, it's a fun risk to go 1.7 Garrett Wilson, but CD Lamb is safer. Oh wait, hold on. CD Lamb and JT? Oh God, bro. So first of all, I thought it was just CD Lamb. The fact that you're getting JT, that's a really bad trade.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
I don't care about Tyreek. Yeah, you know what? Accept the trade. Would I trade Garrett Wilson at 20? So Harvey and Garrett Wilson, unfortunately, for plus Tyreek, who cares? For CD and JT, I would hit that accept button and then send them this and say your offer sucks. In your direction, it sucked. It sucked.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
I sorry, I didn't even finish reading that. I just can't believe, like, when I saw that, I stopped at CD Lamb, and I'm like, no one's going to give up more. That's insane. Send that to him, bro, and tell him his offer sucked in his own, in his direction. It was just an awful idea of him to throw that out there. That's really bad. He just, look, I like Garrett Wilson, and I like Harvey, especially if you can get him, but that's a ridiculous trade. I will say this, though. I'd rather have Harvey than JT. So, you know, I at the risk of having him just say the whole deal's off because you open his eyes to how bad of a trade it is, you could say keep the pick and then keep JT. But I know a lot of people like JT and they might like JT more than the 1.7. And I do if it's not Harvey. So it really kind of depends. But Harvey's probably a good bet right now to fall there. But it depends on when your draft is. I'd probably just make the trade and get it done. That way you're not screwing yourself by talking him out of it. Trade a 2026 first round pick for Breece Hall. Yes, I would take Breece Hall. Super flex, I still take him. I'm not worried as much, especially if your team's going to be good, that's a late first rounder. That's like I look at it as like a 2.12. If my team's stacked, I get Breece Hall. You're going to score even more by acquiring Breece Hall. Breece Hall is such a forgotten man right now. I love it. People keep saying Hunter will be the 2 and no way the number 1. Thoughts on that? Don't think so. Don't think it's possible for Hunter to become the 1 possibly. I look, I'm not trying to take away from BTJ. You guys know they're both of these guys are supernovas, which makes you question why T Law is not higher, and he probably will be ranked higher by us moving forward. I really wish the Jaguars would have taken Shedeur Sanders and just backed up T-Law and given Sanders and Hunter the opportunity to maybe play together again, and that would benefit Sanders. It would have been an unbelievable move. The whole NFL, I think the whole NFL is stupid. The whole NFL is stupid. And Liam Cohen, is as much as I like him and I'm going to praise him this year, it was a stupid move to not go get Shedeur, especially when he was there in round 3, when he was there in round 4. It was just an idiotic move not to grab him. Because if Shedeur was going to scare away T-Law into being a bad quarterback and take a step backward, then T-Law wasn't that guy anyway. You know, so at the end of the day, BBQ dropping another 50 gifted memberships. Make sure you thank the man. If he gave you a gifted membership, make sure you thank the man. Appreciate him. So to answer your question, I'll answer your question this way. As much as I love BT, and they're both supernovas, I love both of them. There is a world where they rotate being the top scoring player each year. I am going to set the record straight, Bryson. It is a stupid comment to say that Hunter can't, not you, but whoever says it, that Hunter can't be the number 1 producing wide receiver on a rotational basis. Him and BTJ have the same amount of talent. There's a lot of people, and me included, that think Hunter is one of the most gifted players to ever come out of college. So to suggest that he can't outscore BTJ and have them literally be 2 number 1 wide receivers, and there's no real need to even say it's like Higgins and Chase. It's like having Chase and Chase, bro. That's why T. Law or Sanders, if you just would have been smart, Liam Cohen, to just have double up like NASA. Have a backup plan for the backup plan. And what a beautiful backup plan it would to have Shador and Hunter together. It was such a smart move. And in the third, fourth round, I wouldn't have let him fall past the second round. I would have said, I don't care about T-Law's feelings. I believe in you, T-Law, but you might have to go into the hair cosmetic business if this doesn't work out. That's fine. But don't be scared. Don't be scared. Hunter and having Shador, it was the move to make. But yes, you're out of your mind if you think Hunter can't outscore BTJ during any given season. You're out of your mind if you think BTJ can't outscore Hunter during any given season. You're out of your mind if you think one is better than the other or one is not as good as the other, because they're both elite talents, and it sounds like Hunter's getting work that's going to feed him 1,200, 1,400 yards. He's going to have 12 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns. They might run him a lot more than he was run in college. This could be a whole different ball game. Travis Hunter could be unlocked times 5. BTJ and Travis Hunter. Hunter was a better prospect than BTJ. Prospect. Hunter grew at the NFL level amazingly, and he deserves all the accolades he's getting right now. He's a supernova. He's one of our favorite players, but so is Travis Hunter. So you can say what you want about Travis Hunter, BTJ. The truth is, you're running your mouth if you're suggesting one cannot be as good as the other. That's essentially what I'm trying to tell you. So Hunter to the mother freaking moon. And honestly, if this draft class wasn't so loaded with elite running backs, Hunter could easily be argued to be like Neighbors and MHJ last year, or BTJ. Like, even in hindsight, you draft probably Neighbors number 1 overall, BTJ number 2 overall. And I'm telling you right now, and Bucky would be right around 3. But I'm telling you right now, even in hindsight, I think that you could put Hunter in that draft class and he'd be right there. As soon as everything's known, you'll be able to say, look, I could draft any one of those 3. Neighbors probably is my 1, but Hunter, BTJ, they're going to be so good together. It's wild to me the disrespect people are throwing at Travis Hunter still. And Mike with the final super chat at the moment, and these gifted memberships by BTJ, by BBQ are just flowing in. The pit boss is just dropping it like crazy. The pitmaster. Thoughts on Stewart holding out as a rookie in the Bengals minicamp? I'm not too worried about anything right now. We'll see what happens in the coming days, bro. There's a lot of players that have just signed right now. There's a lot of players that are just inking deals like today and yesterday. There's still a lot of time. So we'll address things as we go, Mike. I appreciate your super chat. Don't worry too much at this moment in time, but things have gone pretty smoothly for the Bengals so far this offseason. I'm not that worried right now, but we'll address it as more days pass. But missing like today and tomorrow and like even a couple days next week is not going to be a huge deal. But as we start getting closer to June, that's when you start panicking a little bit. And even like early June's okay. Like even James Cook, the longer we wait, the more injury risk is going to be present. Walking into June 1, June 2, still not extremely worried, but you start getting into the first couple weeks and it gets a little different. Hits a little different. Phone lines open. Dial in, dial in, dial in. Dial in to the show. Oh, you know what? The phone line was closed. I'm so sorry. Phone line's open now. It shut down. It does that. My bad. So if anybody was trying to dial in, I didn't have it open or it was forced closed. My fault. We got Bruce trying to call in. He's probably been trying to call in like crazy. I was wondering why no one dialed in yet. Bruce, you're live. Can you hear me? I might have to turn on the trusty old speaker. So hang tight real quickly while I fix that. Turn this on. It happens every once in a while. This is what happens when you go live as much as we do, and you've got to Trouble. All right. Hopefully that actually did the trick. Let's see if it did. We still got a handful of people in here that haven't left. Loyal people in the building. Don't ever leave unless the stream ends, because so if the live chat stays open, we should be good. So you just got to hang out. There's all kinds of stream. When you stream as much as this channel, you run into all kinds of problems because we're live so much that you're going to have issues pop up. Internet connectivity problems. The phone line, I don't think is something I'm going to want to toy with tonight. Maybe. Let me open up the phone line real quickly and see. Hopefully this doesn't jack up the stream again. So hold on and just bear with me. Let's see if we can. Let me see if you guys can. Let me see if I can play Denny's old voicemail, which I always keep handy to test my audio. Let's see. Can you hear me, Bruce? I don't think. Bruce, you there? Yeah, Bruce, I don't think the phone line's working today, pal. I don't hear Bruce at all. Hello, Bruce. Hello. All right, we're just going to move on without the phone line today. I'll restart it for tonight unless you guys can hear me. If John or Bruce, speak up if you can hear me. I don't think you can hear me. I'll have to restart my whole computer in order to get the phone line working. Unless you can hear me, I don't think you can. Yeah, phone line's done. We'll be back tonight with the phone line, but let's keep going with this. Let's talk about Travis Hunter, and let me use the comments in the stream. Any super chats that come in order in which they're received, I'll answer. BBQ's been dropping gifted memberships like a monster the entire show. We've got 100 BBQ gifted memberships already dished out. We've got 162 back in the building. I apologize for that potential interruption. The stream didn't actually crash. It just was interrupted, paused, and it came back. So we got no phone line right now until I restart, though. I was able to restart and get the stream back up, but no phone line. It is what it is. But let's hear your takes on Travis Hunter. Everybody drop a line for Travis Hunter. I want to see receptions, yardage, and touchdowns, and I'm going to drag your comments onto the screen. Okay, so let me do that. Genty is gone. Already spoke with the first pick owner. You look, Brett. You can't always. First of all, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Genty's going 1. But regardless of speaking to an owner, the owner's best interest is not to tell you what they're doing. So I agree, it's going to be Genty or he's an imbecile. But if you let's say, called the second overall owner and you were the third, let's say, and I know you're not, and you're like, hey, what are you doing? What is this? Is this a draft day? Are you really going to get the right information from him? Okay, Hampton has all the variables I like in a running back out of college. The advice to trade this number 2 pick for a running back and a wide receiver is a good thought. Look, Brett, I think that I like Hampton. I'm not going to talk you about a Hampton. If I could get the 4 pick and have Hunter or Harvey or Henderson, but get a Garrett Wilson or something crazy, or a T. Higgins, or a quarterback upgrade from a mediocre guy to a Mahomes, I'm considering it. But I'm needing something so drastic like that to get a deal pulled off. I'm not moving that pick for anything. Do I think Ewers is better than Tua? I think no. I think Tua's pretty good. It's just Tua's not going to stay on the field forever. He's going to take a hit and he's going to be done. Bryson says 1,400 yards, 150 targets, 150 receptions, and 13 touchdowns. That is definitely possible for the boy known as Travis Hunter. 90 receptions for 1,250, 90 for 1,250 and 12. I think and this is my floor. This is not my highest expectation. Again, we'll call it. I'll actually call it 90. We'll say 90, 1,200, and 12 TDs for Travis Hunter. For Hunter, this is my floor. Floor projections. He's capable of more than that. He's capable of being the number 1 wide receiver on the team. Not to say that he won't be tied with BTJ, or they'll be neck and neck. We've got Hunter 70, 980, and 11 from Rock Out. Thank you, Rock Out, for the super chat. Travis Travis must have went to the bathroom and someone picked up his phone and typed in 79, 75, and 8. Just kidding. That's a little low, Travis. That's a little low. Travis's nephew's over. Give Travis the phone back. Give Travis the phone back. What's he doing? He's typing in little tiny codes. Typing in single digit numbers. What's he doing? He's trying to get into the phone, I think. Is the requirement for Hero RB to draft elite 3 down back or highest rated player with a similar skill set? There's no drafting highest rated player. Like, that sounds like almost like an auto draft. There's no requirement. It's just, do you draft a Hero RB light? Meaning you could go Harvey as your Hero RB and then take like Scattaboo and Tootin and Bigsby later, but you're going to call that what it is, like Hero RB from round 5. Like, that's almost Hero RB, really. You know, and if you go in the direction of drafting, let's say, I don't know, something along the lines of let's call it running back Hampton in round 4, you get lucky in your non-best ball and Hampton's in 4. That's not zero RB. That's, Hero RB from round 4. It's like a Timo version or a Walmart version of aggressive Hero RB. But Hero RB in its traditional sense is like round 1 or 2. And really even 2 sometimes would be questionable. Hero RB, typically someone thinks going Bijan, Gibbs, or Barkley, and then literally skipping RB to like round 7 or 8. That would be traditional Hero RB. But none of it is like an exact science. And honestly, it's more so I never planned to do it. It's just most of my draft strategies are just me reflecting back and saying, what did I do? I took best player available, but what was my plan? What ended up unfolding? Oh, I drafted Hero RB. Like, that's the funny thing about these strategies is if you draft best player available, you will draft one of them. Your sub strategy will be Hero or Zero or wide receiver heavy or robust RB. But it's almost like the proper way to draft is to just look back on it and say, I've mastered every single style of drafting. And so when I go down a road of best player available, I'm just looking to each pick and looking back and trying to collect the best group that I can that supports each other. And that helps guide what best player available is. But at the end of the day, the strategies really fall into your lap and you abort them. If, let's say, you see a player like the other night when I tried to do Hero RB, it took Harvey in round 4. Or no, 5. It took Harvey in round 5. I aborted Zero RB. Bold prediction for NFL season. This is a $100 hauler from Shane because he's a mother freaking baller. Shane.
$100+ Smitty. Everybody's pretty. $100+
Shane, with the super chat, how can I... Oh, this is the previous one. Let me go to Shane's new message. Shane dropped this super chat right here, and it is a beauty. It says right here... Let me get Pickens off the screen. Pickens, we appreciate you, but you're in the way. Bold prediction, the NFL season. 1, Texans still win the division. 2, Texans defense is ranked number 1. I like that, bro. We'll put that on the bold prediction right now. So this is coming from, let's see here. Let me go back to here. All right, standing. This is coming from Shane Holloway. He says Texans number 1. Shane Holloway, Texans number 1. What's today's date? 5/9. 5/9. Holloway. Houston wins division and number 1 defense. Got it. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate you, my boy. Dropping a nice, achievable prediction. Some of these predictions last year were so off the wall that nobody had a chance of winning except for like 4 or 5 people. Ron had like Roman Wilson would be a top 10 wide receiver. Ron had some of the other ones were crazy. Estimate would be a top 10 running back. Like, they were so bold. Everybody kept dropping the boldest predictions they could drop. They were crazy. We ended up just looking through them. We're like, man, 80% of them didn't land because they were just way too bold. Do you think Hunter could be a top 5? Yeah, I mean, Bryson, based on what I just described, him being easily capable of being the number 1 wide receiver on the Jaguars offense or equal to BT, then yeah, they could rotate, they could rotate years, but certainly could be 5 to 10. 5 to 10 is capable. I think it's important to include 5 to 10, or if you want to see 6 to 10, whatever, to be safe, a 6 to 10 wide receiver out of Hunter in 2025 and beyond is 100% capable. Love the guy. Smitty, what number do you got BTJ and Hunter? What number you got for BTJ and Hunter? What number? You mean like projections? I think they both could have very similar lines. So 90 to 100 receptions, 1,200 to 1,400 yards. One might have 1,200, one might have 1,400. I could see where maybe BT has 1,400 yards, Travis Hunter has 1,200. BT has 11 TDs, Travis Hunter has 13. BT has 99 to 110 receptions, Hunter has 90, 95. Like they could have very similar lines with very different stats where their categories are a little bit different, but they're overlapping and just have phenomenal end of year production. This is young Johnny Boy says, Smitty, got my rookie draft coming up, taking 2 of Hunter, Henderson, Hampton to start. If Harvey does make it to the 1.9, who else should I take if he doesn't make it to the 1.9? I really like Scattaboo. I love Ibuka. I think Ibuka is a fantastic pick around that territory. I really love Tootin right now. I think maybe bring it to us when you're on the clock. If it's a live draft, and throw a couple scenarios at me. Like how about I rank a certain number of players, but at that territory, if we go to thefantasyfootballshow.com, my year-round rankings, bold predictions, trade calculators, all of that good stuff, and I pull that sucker up, and I just take a little gander at the rookie rankings, and I even have super rookie rankings, which I coined many years ago, which are rankings that a lot of people use now or copy, where it includes sophomores and rookies only. Those are my super rookie rankings. I love those. They're the most sought after rankings I have. But when I take a gander and I say, okay, who's there at 9? Honestly, if it's not Ibuka, we know Tet will be gone. I don't even like Golden there. I think that, Scattaboo, Judkins, Caleb Johnson, those are all very good possible players to grab. Tootin I love, but he probably goes at 2.1, 2.3, 2.2, 2.5. So Tootin's a little early, but I think Scattaboo's not if you want to get crazy. I think Scattaboo's value right now, look, I told everyone that Hunter's value would climb, and it did. I was 100% accurate on that. There's not a better call that this show or myself has made this season so far than the Travis Hunter rise. Because that maybe won someone a best ball league. You might have won a best ball contest because Travis Hunter was a 9th and 10th round player, and I said smash over and over and over. Take him over and over and over. So, and in the early best ball, I'll go find my percentage of ownership on Travis Hunter. It was to the moon, before the NFL draft, just drafting Travis Hunter left and right. Scattaboo is my next call. I think at least one of them. You're going to see Scattaboo get taken at a higher clip than 2.1 to 2.5. It's going to happen. You can either get on board or not. And in $468 worth of drafts before the NFL draft, your boy had a roughly 40% ownership of Travis Hunter. And I'll put that on the screen right here just to show you. So, and honestly, it should be more. The question is, what is the percentage of ownership you should have now in the new contest where he's going in the 4th round? Do I think it should be 40, 50% of that 4th round value? I don't know about that. I think that, we could definitely say that there's upside still to grab him, maybe at like a 20% clip. But I think it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find me doing the exact same ratio at 4th round. Like, we crushed the 4th round value. We smashed the hell out of it. So here is if I can get it to send to my damn screen. Where the hell is this? All right, here it is. So Travis Hunter, $468 in entry fees, 37% ownership. That's commitment. That's walking the walk. That's not only talking the talk, but that's walking the walk. Roughly 40% ownership and $468 of entry fee drafts. Thank you, young boy. Appreciate you. If Harvey doesn't fall, look at Scat. I promise you, Scat's the next riser. People are going to take Scataboo at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 overall in time. There's nothing wrong with taking him 9 overall. If anybody makes fun of it, they can do whatever the hell. They can laugh at whatever they want to laugh at. Thank you, BBQ, for the gifted membership. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you. Man, I wish I could fix the phone line. Part of me thinks that I could do it this way. Let me try one more time. Let me see if I can. I'm at the risk of screwing the live stream up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to open the phone line. We got to have the phone line open. Let's see. You know what I need to do? I need to go and make sure that I no longer have the speaker connected. That might be part of the problem. So forget this device. Forget this device. We should no longer have an issue when I turn on the speaker. I think that's what was happening. Even though I wasn't connecting it, the fact that it was trying to, it was recognizing that it was available. Let's hope this doesn't do anything. Okay, let me re-add it in. This. Yeah, it's not going to work. I got to restart the computer. Let me just try playing Denny's voicemail right now and see if I fixed it. Yeah, nothing. Got no audio. Oh, well. I could potentially try and do it on my phone, but it'd take too long and I wouldn't be able to pay attention to the stream. So let's just go back to questions. We'll be back tonight too, so don't think for a second we're leaving yet, but we'll be back with the phone lines tonight. I should have restarted my computer. I thought, you know what, it's fine. I just restarted it, but I should have restarted it before I went live. Scataboo, better value. He will own the backfield. He certainly will. BBQ, he's going to be one of the most sought after players later. Give Scataboo a chance. Scataboo is going to climb. You want the new Travis Hunter? It's Scataboo. We told you Harvey would climb. Harvey climbed. We told you Hunter would climb. Hunter climbed. Scataboo's next. Take advantage of the Scataboo value while you can. There's no way it's going to last, especially the moment he shows like signs of life. And the fact that he came out and said today, we might do a stream on this tonight. Scataboo came out today and said that he's proved nothing in the NFL. He hasn't taken a single snap. No one knows who he is. I mean, they know who he is, but they don't know who he could become. And he's like, I've got to prove it. I've got to go out there with a great attitude. He said, I got to go out there and show everybody who I am. And that person is the best running back that you could find. He may not be the best running back, but he thinks he is. And that's fantastic. That is fantastic. And we're smashing the Scataboo value like no one else.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Scataboo, been on the Moon Man list since the first day of 2025. January 1, the first day of 2025. We told you.
Let him cook.
And here we are. ETN isn't going nowhere, says the wolf shirt guy. That's not true. He could definitely be traded, but he won't for sure be traded, but he definitely could be traded. I think the two running backs that could be traded would be one ETN, two Walker. The only thing that makes me think Walker is no longer likely to be traded is probably because his most desired landing spot and the spot that was most desiring him was the Raiders, who now drafted Genty. But it doesn't mean another team like the Dallas Cowboys might not come a knocking Washington Commanders. So, and Tootin too. Yeah, Tootin. I mean, we tell you about Tootin as well. Tootin and Bigsby are one of the best combos in fantasy. Like, you draft this combo together. You don't just draft Tootin. Bigsby's so cheap that it does you zero good to pass on him at his late territory of ADP. Tootin's going a lot higher than Bigsby. So, you'll be able to get them pretty easily. Tootin you're drafting not quite as a starter, so it's not like you're risking much grabbing both of them. But Tootin and Scatterboo are both on the list. They are the guys to go get. They're so much likely to be the Bucky or the Chase Brown of this coming season. Scatterboo could be literally a top 12 running back this year. As a rookie, he could be a top 12 running back. Tootin probably could play like a top 12 running back per start. It's just a matter of when he gets into the lineup, because there's almost no chance Tootin starting, the lone backfield. He's not Bucky Irving week 1 most likely. He could be talent-wise, but it doesn't feel like he's going to climb to that level quite yet. So per start, Tootin could be top. This running back stable is so good. We could literally have 5 running backs inside the top 15. Not just for the long term, but especially the long term. But also as rookies, we could have 5 players finish, and maybe even 6 finish in the top 15 running backs. That's how good this running back crew is in 2025. That's how much they're replenishing the running back pool of players for fantasy and the NFL. Scatterboo's in that mix. Tootin's in that mix, of course. Dylan Sampson, Judkins, we'll see which one prevails there. They both could have success. But don't make a mistake of thinking that Dylan Sampson can't be the guy. Okay, right now it is Judkins, but Dylan Sampson's ultra talented, uber talented. Caleb Williams and Judkins are both very, very good players, but they're in sharing situations more so than anybody else. I venture to say Hendy's in a less of a sharing situation come mid-season than Judkins is. Henderson might walk into a sharing situation, but he's the best pass protecting back in the draft class. And if he grabs a hold of the early down work as well, he owns it all. So this is such a good running back class. It's just insane. It's just really, truly insane. Cohen is turning Tootin into Bucky. He certainly could, Aldi. He certainly could, but don't discount having the duo, bro. Don't discount what what Bigsby's capable of as well. Is Tootin and Bigsby together. You got to grab the duo. You have to grab the duo, because Bigsby was one of the better running backs in the league in a couple categories. Top 5 in categories such as, yards after contact per touch, the most important stuff. This is an unbelievable. Space Ricky might be behind in the live stream. I think he drops to 75, 1008 is his projection for Hunter. Keep those projections coming if you want. I'll put them on screen when I see him. Yeah, Bigsby's just unbelievable, but so is Tootin. Tootin has a little bit of he's got to hold on to the ball. Bigsby's got the experience, and the fact that this coaching staff didn't draft Bigsby gives Tootin a little advantage there. But Bigsby's got the statistical advantages and the signs of life from last year's data that suggests that he could be a monster. Matt likes Judkins a little more. There's nothing wrong with that. And, the whole world pretty much likes Judkins over Scatterboo. And dare I say that, of course, I wouldn't draft Scatterboo over Judkins because I don't have to, but I'd rather in a vacuum have Scatterboo over Judkins. And you can say whatever you want, just like people came at me when I said I'd rather have JD5 over Caleb Williams. And that might seem so obvious now, but it wasn't. It was completely controversial. It was controversial when we liked Travis Hunter as a number 1 wide receiver in fantasy, like at least the 12th wide receiver, like top 7 to 12 ranked wide receiver as your low-end wide receiver 1 from the 10th round. That was controversial. Now it's not. Now it's par for the course. Now it's, everybody knew it. No one knew shit. Did draft today. Depth at running back and wide receiver is the best I've ever seen. The board just falls into place with the knowledge from the show. Even with the upcoming ADP risers and changers, never felt more prepared than now. Thank you, Smitty. Thank you, BBQ. And you're going to have an amazing year, my boy. You're going to explode this year. You're going to have quite the year. That is a $20 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat.
Yeah. Wolf, what are you doing, bro? Someone says you're trolling. What's the guy doing? Let me read your chats and see if you're trolling. It sounds like you're trolling. Bro, scat is no more than one highlight. What are you talking about? Here, go ahead, Wolf. Wolf, we'll put you in timeout for just a little bit. Why don't you think about your actions for 5 minutes before you come in and just continue to, I don't know, run your mouth about what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm in here trying to educate. I'm in here, promoting a narrative of success.
Let him cook.
So if your objective is to come in and try and tear down the topic of the day or what Smitty's saying, and that's what you think you're going to come in and do, you're not. You're not. You're not. Okay, so God, I wish I had the phone lines. Jeez, man, I wonder if I can download it real quick and do it from my phone. Let's see if we can try it real quick, because this is brutal not having the phone line. Let's try this. Let's try downloading it real quick. I think this is it. Let's try opening this up. And Perry, what are you saying there, Perry? Your messages are getting like quarantined by the bot automatically. It's not even us. What are you saying, bro, over there? All right, let me see if I can open this up and I don't know. Damn phone line, man. Damn phone line. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to open it up again. If it goes down, it goes down. Just hang tight. If it goes down, the stream will just be like paused. It won't be something that'll go away. All right. Here we go. Let me add the phone line back. I hope this doesn't crash. Hang tight. I'll fix it. Don't go anywhere. There's 130 of you in here still. 130 of you in here. All right, let's connect it. I need a spot in your redraft league. $199 hauler. $199 hauler from the man known as Shane Holiday. Shane, I can't give you. I couldn't be. But just when you go and do something so ridiculous, you come back and totally redeem yourself. You're in, Shane. You're in.
Let him cook.
Shane's in. Shane, email me right now. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com right now. Put in a number. Pick any digit number. Make it long, short, whatever, or a little passcode. And I want you to go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Email it to me. And then I'm gonna have you tell me what you said in the message. And then if that's it, then I'll know I have the right email. But you're in, bro. You're in. You're absolutely in. Hold on, John. I'm not connected yet. Okay, relax. Hold on 1 second. I'll tell you when the phone line's open. I gotta make sure everything's good to go. If it freezes, don't go anywhere. Oh God. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't freeze. Don't freeze. Okay. All right, let's test it out. Hopefully this worked. It like froze. Hold on. It worked. It worked. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Do it live. Do it live. Do it live.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We're makeshifting it, but it works. I got it going. First of all, Shane, appreciate you. Shane to the mother freaking moon. Shane is the man, the myth, the legend. Shane, the man known as Holiday. Shane, you keep it up. You keep it up, Shane, and I'm going to spend a good half hour to an hour of my time while the family's waiting for me making a holiday song for you. So just whenever you drop a super chat, I'm going to hit the holiday song. My monster. Little monster, Shane. Pickens or Metcalf dynasty. Probably Metcalf because he's the number one, but this is one of those things where the situation's better, and so you hover around that decision. It's just like, how is Pickens ever going to be? He's going to be good and maybe borderline great from time to time, but consistently with Lamb there, I don't know. That's tough. Let's see what the phone line thinks of that actual situation. Travis, would you rather have DK in Dynasty or Pickens in Dallas?
I'd probably go DK. There's like a 3-year age difference, and I could see why someone would go. I guess to go DK because it's unknown. So in that case, I don't roll the dice on the ceiling, which is opposite of what I usually do.
Yeah. I guess I would say, my answer, I agree with you.
If he was a more, like, not head, a better word, I might go Pickens. But I just worry that shelf life wherever he.
Yeah. I'm going to say DK too, but I wouldn't blame someone like Travis said, worded good. If you're building and you can't win now anyway, the age of DK will probably put you in a position where in 2 years from now, when you're ready to win, you're already like, do I get rid of them? Like, what's going on? But if you can win now, or like even next year, or you can maybe win now, but you can definitely build and win next year, then I think DK is smarter. The chat said DK. Shane says Holiday. I'm definitely making that. If Shane keeps it up, I'm not saying you have to do it this show, Shane. I'm not trying to bait you into more. You do what you want when you want. But I'm just saying you start keeping this vibe going. I'm gonna make a holiday song for you, because the reason is when you super chat, I'm gonna need to celebrate it. The glory that is Shane. Shane, make sure you email me. All right, let me go over to John. John, you're live, and then rock out after that. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Smitty. So earlier, I wanted to call and ask you about the line of the Jaguars. What do you think? Do you think it's improved? Do you trust it back there with T-Law behind that line?
So this comes back to more than just what they've done in the draft and free agency. This comes back to you've got a whole new staff coaching this lineup. You've got a whole new weapon in Travis Hunter that you could argue is one of the most dangerous right away, out of the box, one of the most dangerous players in the league. And so, that alone is going to make the offensive line production go up times 5. Just like when you get Kurt Warner under center in Arizona, I use this example a lot. Horrible line. Kurt Warner goes in there, quick release, air attack, spread out football, aerial attack, like just best show on turf type of thing. That makes the offensive line play great. And then JD5 goes to Washington. You know how many times I had to sit there and shake my head when someone would go, Smitty, their 2023 stats for offensive line production, where I got to plug my nose when I say this because it sounds like an Excel sheet, Eric. But Smitty, I mean, look at the stats. The stats said JD5's not going to have a good line, Smitty. And then what did I tell people? You're focusing on something that you don't even have information on. JD5 under center, holding a defender that's eyeballing him constantly off of the out of the box, and you have less 8-man fronts. You'll never see 8-man fronts again because of JD5. That offensive line production goes to the moon just by the mere presence of JD5 under center or in the gun. So it's the same thing, bro. Liam Cohen's offense, what he can do with T-Law, what he can do with Travis Hunter, what he can do with Tootin and Bigsby and ETN if he stays, what he could obviously do with BTJ stretching the field. The offensive line is of zero concern for me. I have zero concern about the offensive line. Zero.
Also,
it'll be completely.
Mac Jones, half of last year.
Yeah.
A lot better than Mac Jones.
Completely different scenario. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about it. This is what people say when they don't really have substance. It's lazy takes when they say stuff like, "Well, I don't think it'll be that good because the offensive line wasn't good last year." That's like when people say you shouldn't draft running back early in best ball this year because of last year's statistics and data. Last year, when it was think how stupid this is, bro. When someone says last year you were more likely to advance if you drafted wide receiver or whatever, when this is a different running back pool of players. When you draft right, just like BBQ said, the draft feels so different this year versus like last year. You've got Harvey. You've got guys like Charbonnet and Scattaboo and the Bigsby Tootin. Like, you have so much talent at running back. Or you look at wide receivers differently. Or you say to yourself, I can get, Hunter and DK and Debo later. So there's so many ways to build. It has nothing to do with last year. I could give two shits about last year. You know what I want to draft? I want to draft the best team I can. Best player available every single time. And we've had success. I've won some solid money on underdog. Have I won? Did I win a tournament last year or a contest? No. There's only one person that wins each of those contests in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of entrants. It's no shame that it takes you 4 years, 5 years to get a number one championship spot. It's not something that just, you just because you haven't won a tournament yet, or you haven't won Best Ball Mania yet. There's only been 5 winners. So it's not like you can, but the bottom line is this.
Yeah, I just want to know what your opinion was on it.
Yeah, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just saying it.
I'm not making any assumptions.
No. I'm not yelling. When I yell, bro,
that's bad.
Resting face, bro. Resting face. I'm not even talking. I forgot you were there, to be honest. I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
I wasn't even.
You had said
I wasn't even speaking.
You had asked about the DK or Pickens, and I was going to go against what everybody else has said, and that's because of my ignorance. I don't know. I don't know the dynasty, and that's why I chose on the Marksman League to be in the redraft, because I think I would have done awful. I want to get to know it a little better watching the show before I even attempt one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, man. First of all, don't be afraid to attempt. So you haven't done any best ball yet at all?
No. What I'm saying, I haven't done best ball, but I was talking about dynasty. I have never done dynasty.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. I think I might even draft with you tonight on best ball. But as far as dynasty is concerned, I need to watch the show and just.
So I have a dynasty channel. Subscribe to my dynasty channel on the link. I promise you guys, I'm not like abandoning that. We haven't done any dynasty content for a little while, but I'm gonna swing back in this weekend and do a bunch of rookie dynasty videos, and so we'll be doing that. But make sure you follow that. But to be honest with you, this isn't going to be what you want to hear, but you want to join a dynasty to get experience, and consume as much as you can, but you might falter a little bit as you go, and then your second dynasty league, you're going to, be able to smash, but it doesn't mean you can't do great your first go at it. And there's definitely ways. The dynasty channel, call into that show and everything, but go subscribe. The link's in the description below. And actually, I'll drop it in the live chat right now for anybody that hasn't subscribed to the dynasty channel. Here is the dynasty link. I'll drop it right here. So make sure you subscribe to that. All right. Hang tight, bro. Mute yourself. I'll be right back around for you. Let me head over to Rockout and then over to Holiday, who's on the phone line, I believe. Go ahead. Go ahead, rock out. You're live.
Buffalo, the Giants getting the toughest strength of schedule, and the 49ers getting like the weakest instead of the Eagles getting the toughest strength of schedule.
Yeah, so this is the strength of schedule by a couple different metrics and by a projection via like some betting and stuff. So there's different ways to look at this, like rushing and receiving, and I haven't broken all those down yet, but I will. I'll have all that data and screens for that. But this is overall the toughest schedule in the NFL for the teams themselves. Niners getting the easiest at the bottom right, Patriots second easiest, etc., etc. Giants, as Rock had alluded to, toughest schedule in the league. Browns, Lions not looking good, having no OC, at least not having Ben Johnson. Rock out, mute yourself if you could. You got tons of reverb again. I think you just might have to do that until whatever. It sounds like it's speakerphone or something, but it's just like. I think the Eagles. Look, some of this is off of things that are going to change too. Like some things are going to change. And these defenses had good drafts. The Arizona Cardinals, for example, are one defense that I bet you are calculated as an easier opponent when they're really not going to be. So this stuff doesn't really matter to me too much. I know some people take it into account like it's, law, or it's, it's gold. Like you look at this, you're like, oh, the Giants are screwed. But honestly, there's so much variance, and the fact that the Cardinals could go from 20 or the Cardinals, like, this is not the Cardinals rank. This is the Cardinals, their opposing teams that they face. But if this were like if we had a ranking of the Cardinals defense and they're like 20th or whatever, they're probably going to play above top 15 now. They've got Will Johnson, they've got Nolan. This is a great defense now. There's so much change that happens. The Falcons as another team improving their defense tremendously. So I don't really put much weight in it, to be honest with you. What I'm more concerned about is when you face, like when you're a running back and you have the worst rushing schedule and you look at some of it and you say there's going to be variance there, but overall it is going to be tougher sledding. But that's really the only thing I'm really too concerned about is rushing schedules. Everything else, I don't really, I look at it, we talk about it, but it doesn't hold much weight with me, bro. What else you got, Rock out?
Vikings. I think the Vikings were predicting like 7 games last year, so just
Change the year, not no standard thing.
Yeah. What else? Hold on. Let me go back over on the phone line. Rock out, mute yourself real quickly, and then I'll come back to you. Let's go over to Holiday. What's up, Holiday? What's up, bro?
Dude, oh yeah, I emailed or contacted on the fantasy football show. Number is 920.
That's it, baby. I love it. Okay, I'll email you. You're in the Garrett Wilson. I think it's going to be the Garrett Wilson autograph jersey draft. There's going to be no entry fee for anybody. It's just you get in. We'll it'll probably be a best ball draft, I think, and I might make it a league where you can do ad drops and stuff like that. I'm not sure yet. But it's going to be a best ball draft, but it'll be on Sleeper, so you don't have to like be in a state where you can play because there's no entry fee or anything. So it's just going to be run as a best ball format on Sleeper.
Wait a second, it's on Sleeper?
Well, the draft, yeah. What do you think it was on where?
No, I don't know where it was, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd watch that. We're about to find it. Okay. Yeah, restrictions enabled. Yeah. Is there? I don't know if there's any other way to do it.
I mean that's the app that pretty much everyone uses to run a league. Because it's a league management software. So I'll talk about it in an email. We'll figure it out. All right, we'll figure it out. But what else? Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Just because, I mean, if anything else, bro, we'll I don't know. Worst case scenario, I'll draft my team based on what you tell me. How's that? and you'll run my team or whatever. But we'll figure it out. All right, and it'll be best ball most likely, so it's just draft and done or whatever. But it's not. There's no entry fee or anything like that, so it's not like there's any sort of gambling involved. All right, hang tight, Shane. Do you got anything else? Anything related to Travis Hunter?
Man, hot take, and this might sound horrible, but I think Matthew Golden's going to do better than Travis Hunter.
Woo! That is hot. That is a hot take. I'm not a big Golden fan, bro. I'm just not. I don't.
Yeah. I think because Green Bay, like Jordan Love, he's pretty good, but Green Bay, they don't have too many versatile wide receivers that can move around like he does. Not saying he's, strong. He needs to up his strength for sure, but I mean, he can run routes and he's quick. So I just think naturally, as Jaden Reed and Dubs, it's his last year. They're older. I feel like Golden is going to be the golden boy at Green Bay.
Yeah, the things that I have concerns for in terms of Golden, let me put Golden's mug up here so we can talk about him and people know what we're discussing. The thing that concerns me about Golden is that he doesn't have the production profile. He's arguably one of the worst first-round wide receiver prospects ever to be drafted in round 1, based on his production. Like, he does not warrant first-round production. You could say, oh, his speed and all this and that. Where's my Golden? Let me go over to my, I got a rookie draft here somewhere. This is the ADP data. This is rookie ADP. It's probably adjusted a little bit, but just for those that want to know, this is ADP data, not my ranking. Genty, Hampton, McMillan, Hunter, Henderson, Judkins, Warren, Golden, and Ibuka. Harvey's probably climbed since, I don't know where it is. I'll have to get a handful of drafts and see where Harvey's going. But people have been stealing Harvey away still. But I venture to say he's climbed to like 8 or 9. So I'll get some more drafts and come back around and have a new ADP for that. But that was a week ago. But Golden, bro, he doesn't have, he's never had 1,000-yard season in college. Just doesn't fit the profile of a first-round wide receiver. His speed made a lot of people excited. I'm not saying he doesn't have good skills, but the fact that this guy's going into a situation where Jordan Love has struggled to make one wide receiver elite, and there's no reason Jaden Reed couldn't have been made elite. He's a really good player, and I think he's wasting away there in Green Bay. So my concern is you have 2 problems. You have 3 problems. You have a quarterback that doesn't seem to laser lock on anybody, which is a problem. You have a receiver that doesn't have probably the worst first-round wide receiver taken from a profile perspective. I'm not saying that he can't be a diamond in the rough. I'm not suggesting that to you. I'm saying that he, as a prospect, he had no business going in round 1. And then on top of that, you have this dynamic there where they haven't wanted a wide receiver 1. They haven't developed a wide receiver 1. So it's not just Jordan Love, but it's like the structure. It's like the system too. And the fact that they're taking away the ability for Jaden Reed to run the ball when he's so good at that. And it's like the weird part about that is like, oh, Smitty, they want to keep him healthy for what? They don't use him. If Jaden Reed is a Deebo Samuel-esque player, why the hell don't they use him that way? Saving him when you don't even use him doesn't even make sense. Then they drafted Savion Williams, who honestly, bro, I think could be better than Golden if they featured him more. Now, to make Savion Williams a great player, you would have to use him right. And I don't know that Green Bay will do that. But he's a Deebo Samuel as well. They drafted him in the way that they wanted Jaden Reed to be. They drafted a guy, Savion Williams, who literally is like the spitting image of Deebo Samuel. I just think there's a lot more problems there, and they're still very crowded. Savion, Golden, Jaden Reed, Wicks, like the whole room is just clouded. And then you got Kraft, and then you got Love taking kind of a step backwards last year. They lean on the run. I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling it. If I had to guess, I'd say if you can't catch 1,000 yards in college, what?
I said when you lay it all out there, it kind of makes sense.
I mean,
I haven't looked into it and all the different angles and perspectives as far as the system. Like I just
you know what it is.
Live in Texas, so I'm biased.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's a lot of people have heard a lot of great things about him. A lot of people wanted to plant their flag on somebody that wasn't being talked about a lot, and so he's gained a lot of momentum. But there's literally no telegraphing of this working out. I'm not saying it can't, but there's nothing that is indicating that this guy is going to explode. There's too many. Like if he went to for example, if he is the one that went to Carolina, you could make an argument that, okay, his profile is still bad, right? Even if, let's say, Carolina traded down and got him where Green Bay did. His profile is still bad, but guess what happened? Thielen was saturated with targets, and that's what's good for Ted McMillan. That's what makes Ted McMillan's situation a lot better. But if Golden were to have gone to a place where there's saturation and a quarterback that laser locks on somebody, I would say, you know what? Maybe he needs that, and he develops more at the next level. Remember, Bucky wasn't Bucky until Bucky was in the NFL. He was a good prospect. He was almost a near good to great prospect, but he became an absolute machine and monster at the NFL level. So every player is capable of unlocking different parts of their game that they didn't unlock in college. So I'm not trying to suggest that Golden couldn't do that, but he'd have to go somewhere where I believe he's going to be overfed. And I think he landed in the worst situation for that. This guy's never had a 1,000-yard receiving season in college. What makes anybody think he's going to go to a crowded wide receiver room in Green Bay where his quarterback doesn't lock on anybody? They couldn't develop Jaden Reed, and now they're going to develop this kid into a 1,000-yard receiver? I think there's zero chance. Not zero, but I don't know. Low chance. Low chance. All right.
Yeah. Amen.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut, bro.
Take, and it might be a little too hot. You know what I mean?
Hunter to me is almost the biggest lock of a wide receiver we've seen in a long time. He's just the most electric player to come out of college. Him and Genty both that we've seen come out of college in such a long time. Bijan was one of the best running back prospects to come out since Barkley and Barry Sanders. And that's statistically true.
My concern. I'm sorry.
Well, let me just finish. Let me just finish this real quick. Let me just finish. From a statistical, that statistics telling you that too. Since Barkley and Barry, Bijan was one of the best running backs to ever come out of college. But there's a lot of stats to that. There's a lot of smoothness to it. There's a lot of yards after contact and a lot of statistical stuff. He looked fantastic too. He's a smooth operator is what I like to call Bijan. Hunter is just even in a different vein. He pops when you watch the film. You watch a Shedeur, and I'm not trying to take away from Shedeur on this, but you watch a Shedeur Sanders highlight video. It's all you walk away going, "What did I just watch? A Travis Hunter video? Like, what am I doing?" This guy's just all over the field catching footballs that no one has any business catching, and he's doing like Puka Nacua wild man stuff, but without, I think, laying his body in harm's way, but doing some of the very same things that you're like, nobody else tries to catch that ball. That's what's so great about Puka and makes Puka so fun to root for, is nobody's even trying to catch what Puka's trying to catch. And he's catching it. Like, I don't understand how no one else is even attempting to do it. It's kind of like when someone jumps over the bleachers at a game to save a ball and other people don't. Like, that's Puka on the field. But the thing about Travis Hunter, when you watch him, is he's like doing it safely in a weird way. He's so good, bro. He's so good. Golden can't hold his jockstrap, bro. I get what you're, and trust your gut. If you like Golden and you think he'll be a 1,000-yard, 8-touchdown receiver, trust your gut. I'm wrong about minimum of 25% of everything that comes out of my mouth. And that's in a huge, accurate season where we're crushing it. So like, trust your gut. This could be the one thing I'm completely off base on. I just think there's a lot of red flags and variables. And when you have multiple red flags, one of my rules of thumb are to walk away. And the multiple red flags are profile's bad, never had a 1,000-yard season, going into a system that doesn't produce elite wide receiver ones, and he has a quarterback that does not laser lock on anybody, and Love took a step backwards. Those are a bunch of red flags all in one. Yeah. So I'd say step away, but that's me. Go ahead, bro.
I'm fair with that, and I would trade and I don't know. You brought Hampton up, and I'm starting to like Hampton a little bit more. I watched his highlights, and I don't know. Like, I would trade Hampton into instead of Travis Hunter and Golden. But my concern with Travis Hunter is, and I'm not saying he's not one of the best prospects that we've had in a long time, but my concern is he's going to play defense and he's going to get hurt, and he's trying to do too much, and they're going to try to overuse him, and that's my concern. And
But that scared money. That scared money. Yeah, that scared money don't make money. Situation with Hunter though is why we've been, why we've been a little bit, I think, ahead of the curve on it, because everybody's a worried William or scared of Scotty with it, and they're like, oh, but other people haven't done it. Well, nobody did it in college the way he did it. Did he get hurt? Has he had injuries? Sure, but like he did it to a degree where he's the second overall pick. And everybody, like, he obviously did it right. No, he did it better than anybody else. He prepared for it. He trained for it. Just like a mechanic, or a better yet, a construction worker who's got calluses all over his hands, that you give him a pickle jar that no one can open, and he just snaps that thing open like it's nothing. He can go out there and grab a crowbar that weighs 10 times more than a crowbar that someone can even try and pick up, that has no construction skills at all. Like, this guy he's got the calluses to do both sides of this thing that other people don't. You can't just walk in and be a running back as a wide receiver in the National Football League. Like, Antonio Gibson's the perfect example. He was like a running back wide receiver, and he didn't start at running back really or wide receiver in college. Barely had any work in both categories. And the Commander, or the Washington Redskins at the time, drafted him to be the running back, and we should have known better. We were so excited about what he did as a rookie. We thought, this is the outlier. He's never really been a full-time running back. He'll make it. This is just different. You can't. If you don't have the calluses, the resume, the pedigree, you can't just walk into a position and take 200 carries a game or a season. You will break. You're not prepared for it. You don't have the calluses or the strength. You can't go out just because you're strong. You can't go out and bench press like other people that bench press every day. You'll burn out. You won't be able to last. You'll have no stamina. That's the same way with Travis Hunter. So when people say Travis Hunter can't play defense and offense and that he's going to get hurt, why? Because someone said that before? Why? Because somebody that even did play a little bit of both is critical on TV because they didn't try harder. They didn't train hard enough to do it. They didn't put themselves in a position to do it. To judge this man, and I'm not mad at you or saying this toward you, bro, but to judge this man and presume that because other people didn't train hard enough to do it or have the desire to do it. Most people don't have the desire to do it, bro. They want to wear the minimal amount of flares on their vest, like in Office Space. Remember in Office Space, the movie where the girl, Jennifer Aniston, says, how many flares are we required to wear? And he goes, the minimum's 10, but we encourage more. She's like, if you want me to wear more, tell me to wear more flare, because otherwise I'm wearing 10. And he's all upset about it. But one of the best movies ever. But this guy doesn't want to wear the minimum pieces of flare. This guy wants to play 100%. He wants to play 100% on both sides. No one's ever wanted to do that. No one's ever desired to do that. He desires it. And on top of that, bro, just to set the record straight, and none of this is, I'm yelling at you, bro. I'm just passionate about the topic. It's great that you bring it up.
Yeah.
The thing is, bro, we just like I don't know if you were here from the beginning of the show. The whole show is off of this report. This report is that he's only playing wide receiver right now, primarily playing wide receiver in Jaguars rookie camp. So he's not even touching the defense right now. So he's walking in as a full-time wide receiver, and then they're going to try and double dip a little bit. How much? I don't know. Will it be 20%, 30%? Will it be situational football? Or they're like, okay, this is a really important play. Let's get Travis Hunter's hands on the field to create a fourth down and a punt. That's what I think you're going to see happen. And he's not going to get hurt on that, bro. I mean, anybody can get hurt, but I'm saying that's not a problem. This guy's been playing both sides of the ball. You think he's going to care about playing 15 snaps? Very important snaps. That's what it's going to come down to, bro. You're going to have Liam Cohen sit down and say, bro, we need you at 100% capacity at wide receiver because you are the most dangerous player in the National Football League, and we need the ball in your hands. On defense, you can go get the ball in your hands, but on offense, we can give it to you every time we want to. So we're going to put you in situations where we have a tough stop. We need you to make a stop here. And if we stop, you get the ball again. Not only might he pick off, how many times do you think he'll pick off a pass and then catch the very next play? And I guarantee you one time this year, he'll intercept the ball. They'll get the ball. They'll snap the ball. He'll score a touchdown on the very next play at least one time. It's going to be amazing to watch this guy play football. And I have zero concerns about him getting hurt. I have no more concerns about him getting hurt than the average player. All right. Hang.
It clears everything up.
Well, hang tight. Hang tight. Don't go anywhere. Let me go over to the Bruce. Bruce, you're loose. Hang right there, Holiday. Unless you got to go. Bruce, you're live.
I do have to go to the gym.
Hey.
All right, Holiday, call back in. I'll email you later, Holiday, about the league. All right, later, bro.
All right, brother. Bye.
Go ahead, Brucey.
Hey, do you think Jonathan Brooks is still any good in Dynasty, or is he just trash? He's done with all the ACLs he's had.
He's done. I mean, would I put him on my IR spot until I had to move him off? Sure. You know, why just cut him and have an empty IR spot? But, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, he's done. I mean, he's another ACL tear. You lose your job. You know, like, no job's waiting for him. Not to mention, like, he'll be a year behind and he never developed anyway at the pro level. Think about it like a player like Josh Gordon. I like to use an example. So talented. But you sit out a certain amount of time, especially in your developmental years, which is what Jonathan Brooks is sitting out as everybody's gaining an edge. You know, you fall behind. Like, Jonathan Brooks is falling behind. I have zero thoughts about him. That's why I told every time I was ever asked a question, we nailed so many things last year. Man, last year, every time someone asked me a question that included Jonathan Brooks, 99.99999% of the time, if not 100, I said trade Jonathan Brooks before there was any, you know, there was thought that he'd take over at some point as the starter in Carolina. It was always get rid of him. Trade him away while you still can. You don't know what's going to happen with the running back rotation. Is he going to be healthy? When will he be healthy? And it's like, what a waste of a draft pick and what a waste of an opportunity not to have traded him away. He's not going to do anything.
Yeah, because they got him my one league. He said he's trying to trade him, and I was like, I wonder if he's worth anything, like just to stash and pick up, just to keep him away.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just wondering on your opinion.
Yeah, I did. Not zero interest. Yep. What else you got, Brucey?
I can't think right. What do you think on Hawkinson?
Hawkinson. Okay, hold on one second. Perry, I see your comments in the chat. You're questioning Travis. First of all, Travis does what he can to keep civilized conversation in the chat, and I 100% back his decision. Okay, whatever he's telling you, and just to give you a little, yeah, little.
Not anybody. Everyone's got it.
Yeah,
we'll share it again. So everyone's got a warning.
Wolf, you get your last warning to be on the channel. Okay, so Wolf, spout off again, then you just don't need to be here. Okay. As for Perry, I've seen your comments before. You bicker like crazy. Stop acting innocent about it. You always have an excuse of like, but he said this to me. Just stop. Just ignore. If anybody says anything, ignore them. And then that other person will get. You know, it's okay to disagree and have conversations, but when you're going, you know, nuts in the chat and you're disrupting everything, it's a whole other thing, Perry. And I'm telling you that I know. You're not in trouble, bro. We just need everyone. So Perry, just calm down. Referring to me as, yeah, just relax. It's the retaliation part. And I'm not even saying, Perry, that you did anything right here. But, and I don't know, I haven't read it, but you have been very, very much ready to jump off on somebody else and you blame it on them. I'm just saying, relax. Just relax. Everybody ignore. Let the person that's going to go nuts next just get in a 20-minute timeout or worse. So that's it. End of the story. Don't take it. Don't take a offense to it, Perry. Just relax. You like this channel. You love this channel. Just relax and enjoy it. And I don't know what the wolf guy is going to do, but he seems to think he's just going to go rogue in the chat constantly, and it's not going to happen. So you either be a productive part of the chat or you won't be here. Plain and simple. Real quickly, let me hit these super chats real quickly. Jonathan, Dynasty, Kyron, and Corum or Genti. Jonathan, this is not even close, bro. It's not even close. I love Kyron. I love Kyron more than anybody, but Kyron's an afterthought when it comes to Genti and Dynasty, and Corum's not even the backup. So this is one of the worst questions, and I appreciate you asking me, and it helps so many people that might be thinking the same thing. So don't think it's not a useful question, but it's one of the worst trade ideas I've ever seen. And if the guy that sent you this offer, send him this.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
God, that was bad. I love Kyron. That's horrible. Kyron Corm, thank you. Appreciate you, bro. You know I appreciate you, though. Okay, thoughts on giving up Achane for Dak and Trey Benson? I assume this is Superflex. Jaws, I don't know why you wouldn't tell me if it is or isn't. Because that would be very helpful. And assuming that I know that it is, or assuming that everybody plays Superflex when that's not the case, makes it hard to answer this. But I assume that this is Superflex. If it is, I probably do it. I probably do it if you've got no quarterbacks. I think Dak is a really good Superflex quarterback. I think Benson's going to be a really good player. Achane is fantastic. But if it's Dynasty and he's got, mileage is adding up a little more each year, and it's Dynasty and you can't win with your current state of things, then it's something to consider. I don't know if I'd race to it, actually, but it's look, Dak's pretty good. Just go get Joe Milton to make sure you got that situation cuffed up. But if it's not Superflex, no way. Absolutely. I don't care if you have no quarterback and it's one QB. You can acquire another quarterback. So Gump is on the phone line here. Gump, hang tight real quickly. Looks like Sim Valley wanted you to call in. He just dropped a super chat and said, Gump, call in. And that probably is what triggered you to call in. This one from Daniel. Daniel, who would you keep, Smitty? 10-team, 0.5 redraft. Neighbors in the 3rd round or Bowers in the 7th round, picking 105? You can't really go wrong either way. But I probably would say, and the reason I'm going to say Bowers is if you think about this logically, who's in the 3rd round that you'd be missing if you wrote Neighbors in? Josh Allen, Mahal, or, depending on the league, Dynasty, or it says redraft. Okay, redraft? Why is it redraft, though? It's just a keeper league, you mean? Okay, so it's just a regular keeper league. You're keeping, I guess, one player. I would say, but referred to as a keeper league. It's not a redraft league. I would say the player you're getting in the 3rd round with Bowers is better than just getting Neighbors and not getting that 3rd round player. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I love the Neighbors value in round 3, Bowers in 7 with that 3rd round player could be Kyron, could be Harvey, that is such a much better deal. Harvey and Bowers over Neighbors alone. So very easy question to answer. I can see why it trips you up, though, because it's like, damn, Neighbors in the 3rd is great value, but that's so much better to get Bowers. Finished 8-8 and 9-7 in 2 leagues. Won a championship in both because I found this show around week number 9. Turned around 2 leagues with Savvy Info. Smitty with the goods. Thank you. BBQ, appreciate you. And get ready, bro. You're going to be so much more on fire this year because of being here, bro. Not just me, the community, everything. Let me go over to Gump real quick, who's live, and then I'll go over to back to Rock Out. Go ahead, Gumpy. Let's see how long you last today.
Well, I almost won my league because I found the show.
Attaboy. Attaboy, Gump.
You know what I mean? You almost got me home. You almost got me to home plate, Smitty.
Well, this year we're going to do it.
But my stupidity got my, yeah.
Okay, what can I do for you?
Well, are you in a good mood tonight?
I'm always in a good mood, Gump. This is my resting face. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say something a little funny, funny and happy.
Just say it, though. Just say it, though. Gump, the problem is the reason you get hung up on so quick is you set up. No one needs the setup. Just say it. No one cares about the setup.
don't want to get you on your bad side. I just want to say something funny. I got down here in New Orleans, right? And I met this girl. She was kind of swanky and stuff like that, but she was beautiful. And she called me. She gave me a nickname. I'm Crawdad. Charlie. But I'm gonna try to get some gumbo in the morning. Some gumbo right down the road. You know what I'm saying?
No, but thank you for the story, Crawdad.
Well, have you ever been to New Orleans? You ever been to Louisiana?
I haven't been to New Orleans. No, I haven't. Crawdad Gump.
You ever what? Okay.
You ever been on a shrimping boat, Gump? You ever been on a shrimping boat before?
I was on a fishing boat out in Guam and stuff. I caught a big marlin and stuff, and he kidnapped me for 3 days, and I was out there for 3 days.
All right.
Yeah,
Gump, what else you got? What do you got about Travis Hunter? Let's move on to football.
Oh, move on to football?
Yeah.
Well, there's one thing. Did you ever watch Forrest Gump, the movie?
No, I just referenced Forrest Gump right now for nothing. The shrimping boat.
I found out why Forrest Gump and his mom had sex with a school teacher.
Hey, okay, Gump.
Finish him. Call terminated.
You know what's sad about Gump? Gump may have lost his phone privileges forever. I don't understand how dumb some people can be, Gump. All right. Anyway, $1 holler from Blake. Blake, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Blake. Yeah, Gump, you're done. You're done. You're done. Minimum for the week. For the week at least. And what did the wolf? What did this guy say again? It's not. Yeah, Wolf. What do you say? Travis, stop being so sorry. Okay, Wolf. One more chance, and you're done. You're gone. So if this show is important to you, if this show is important to you, Wolf, and we'll know in a second. How long is he in timeout? What do you put him in? 5 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute?
Oh, 10 this time.
10. In 10 minutes, Wolf. If you decide, Wolf, if in 10 minutes you come back and you start something, or you think, oh, no one's gonna control me, you're just gonna be gone. So you have to right now in 10 minutes decide, do you like the channel or do you not? Because if you do, you don't want to go this road. That's it. Travis and Blackbeard, if he goes off and does something in any way, shape, or form similar, just bounce him.
Yep.
Bounce him. He's out.
Yep.
I mean, just decide what you want. It's so weird to me. People love this show so much, and then they think they can just come in, especially Gump. You're not calling in for at least a week, maybe ever. I don't even know what goes through someone's head. All right. Anyway,
Hey, Smitty, one of my friends has got a trade.
Yeah.
Kyron and Brees Hall for Genty.
Kyron or Brees Hall for Genty? Kyron and Brees Hall, you mean? Kyron and Brees. I'd rather have Genty in Dynasty. If it's redraft, like there's something to think about there. But I'm definitely thinking Genty. If it's Dynasty, is it Dynasty? Is it Dynasty?
Yeah, it's Dynasty.
Yeah, Genty by a mile. By a mile, bro. By a mile.
He said it's technically the 1.1. He said, but technically, he said the guy already said. He says, just say Genty because that's what I'm going to take if you accept.
Genty. I want Genty by a mile.
Genty?
By a mile. It's not close in Dynasty. It's not close in Dynasty. Yeah. Yeah, I know some of you might be disappointed. I love Gump too, but you need to be smart. Gump, that wasn't a smart move. That wasn't a smart move. This is a football show, not your dating life show. Okay. So Gump, you're off the show for a minimum of a week. Minimum. If I even decide to let you call back in again. All right. Let me go back around the phone line real quickly. Bruce, thank you. Appreciate you. I'm going to drop you from the call. I'm going to cycle everybody through. You got anything else, Bruce?
No, but you didn't get to. What do you think of Hawkinson this year?
Oh yeah, you asked me. I like him, but I don't know. Like his situation's like cloudy to me anyway. You know, I don't know how much. I think he's probably going to do fairly well. But where do I draft him? I don't know. I'd rather have Ingram a lot later. I'd rather have Kelsey a lot later, and then grab like Isaiah Likely. I'd rather grab. So it just depends where you got to get him. I think Hawkinson goes like another round or two more than higher than I would want him to go.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All
right, appreciate it. Yeah, you're just going too high. Later, bro. David, you're live. Sure.
I had a question. I've been doing a lot of these best ball drafts, and you get down to get all these wide receiver rooms are just hurt. I mean, I could not rank Pearsall and Jennings. I have no idea who's 1, 2, or 3. Same with like the Bears, the Giants on a different level because they're terrible. But do you see that too? Like some of these wide receivers, these teams, you just stay away from them?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I think we said it the other night. There's a lot of like teams with 2 great receivers now: Worthy, Rice, BTJ, Hunter, and I believe that's gonna be more problematic than people think. To suggest that like BT's gonna blow them away or something. Nah, not really. I think they both do great. I don't think BTJ's hurt by Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is gonna get these like manufactured carries and touches and all that, and receptions, obviously. But keep in mind that like this is where people go wrong when they hear me talk up Travis Hunter. You have BTJ getting, let's say, you know, this X percentage of targets, right? And just picture him running down the field and getting all these. You have Hunter coming in, and everyone's thinking, oh my God, Hunter's going to come in and just take away from this. But you have to remember there was somebody in the lineup that Hunter's taking that person's place in the lineup. So he's consuming all of those targets that he's replacing. And then now he just needs a little extra top off. And that doesn't necessarily have to come at BT's expense. Maybe a little sliver of it does, but it's just going to be that the offense produces more. So Hunter's not just digging into BTJ's target share. Not to mention BTJ is this guy that goes downfield and gets that 40, 50, 60-yard bomb. And a lot of his yards come from that one single catch. He's just a monster. And now with Hunter going all over the field, this is going to be a lot more likely to be converted upon too. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. But anyway, to answer your question, yeah, I mean, there's certain rooms that I think it more so speaks to the receiver, though. The receivers. Like, I don't love the Green Bay situation. It's cloudy as hell. The Niners situation, I don't like that. It's cloudy as hell. But those are all situations that even if they got thinned out, I still don't like the receivers. So you trade Wicks and Dobbs and... Huh?
Would you stay away from those teams because it's just...
Well,
who would you pick on San Fran?
But I was just trying to answer that for you. If you cleared out the wide receiver rooms, let's say you took Ayuk off the roster. Let's say he was able to be cut. They can't cut him because of his injury. But let's say they cut him. It doesn't really change a whole lot. It's still very cloudy to me. I don't love the situation. If you take Wicks and remove him and trade him off the roster in Green Bay, and let's say Savion Williams ends up getting hurt or something and can't even compete at all, it doesn't really change much for me. Like I like maybe Golden and Ricky Pearsall and Jennings all a little bit more, but I still think they're getting drafted mostly too high. I like Jennings a little bit. It depends on where he falls. But yeah, I mean, it's more so I don't like those players. If they were a better player, like if Igbukah went to Green Bay, the talent would rise up to the top, in my opinion. So I think it's never really the situation. It's that the good enough player didn't go to consume the targets. Like I like Igbukah, and he's in a cloudy situation, bro. I love Igbukah. I'm drafting Igbukah as my 3-4 wide receiver all day long. Yeah, I think Igbukah is fantastic, but so crowded in situations aren't necessarily the reason. It's just those are not great situations that you have clarity on. You know, but while the KC situation is kind of hard to make heads and tails of, but they're both going to do well. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a dark throw, especially these best ball drafts, and you get down to it, you just
I can't rank them.
All right, my man. Appreciate you. Call in tonight with a specific scenario. Okay, a couple of scenarios, and we'll go over them. That's a good question.
I'll do that.
All right. Well, yeah, if you're around, we'll be back in like 2 hours. All right, later. Travis, let me get the super chat out of the way. $20 hauler from BBQ. If there's any other super chats, drop them now before we end up bouncing out of here.
Super chat alert.
BBQ, appreciate you, my boy. I remember all of the so-called experts saying Hunter was going to be cornerback up until the day before the draft. You have never wavered from your position of landing in Jacksonville is about to get as good as it gets. I appreciate you, BBQ. BBQ is absolutely what did Kruger call him? Pit boss. No, pit master. You're the pit master, bro. You're the pit master. Appreciate you. And Blake with the $5 hauler says, Sup, Smitty, Dynasty Superflex, start 9, 12 team, 0.5 PPR, rate my team, quarterback room, Dak, Penix Jr., Richardson, Rodgers, Flacco, moves to make. Without knowing the rest of your team, though, I can't really say. I think Dak and Penix Jr. are fantastic. I think you've got little to none trade value in the other players. I think that's a good enough QB room. I don't know that I'm worried about it. It's really good. Make sure you go get Milton if you can. 20 gifted memberships by BBQ. Appreciate you, BBQ. He told you all it's going to be gifted membership night. He's been dropping them like crazy tonight. I'd say, I need to know more, Blake. What's the rest of your team? You can't really trade Dak on the high. No one's buying him. Penix Jr. is still proving himself. So really, there's no moves that can be made from just knowing this QB room. But get Milton. I'm not concerned about your QB room. I think it's very crafty. So hopefully your team is actually stacked pretty well considering your cheap QB route that I think was a very effective QB route. Thank you very much, BBQ, for dropping more gifted memberships. You're an absolute menace and monster.
$50 Honda. Get better,
Okay, Travis, final thoughts, my boy.
Jaguars, you think the ETN situation, do you think, like these rookies, that ETN doesn't get a lot of playing time? Do you think they move them? Like, what's the remedy to that situation? If ETN is there, unless he's like not playing, it's kind of a messy backfield. But I still think he's talented.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think there's situations, right, where you hear things and you wonder if they're made up, because there's smoke season. We got the remnants of smoke season, especially before the draft. You can't trust anything. And sometimes teams don't even correct it because they like that people don't know what's going on because it helps them. So they don't always correct it. But when you think about this type of scenario or the McCarthy one that I've been hammering home, and I feel like nobody was listening, and I feel like there's something there. I sniffed it out, and everyone thinks some people still think I'm crazy, but there's something going on with McCarthy. Like there's just the fact that they won't Gump, you're calling in. You're not calling in for a week. I'm not going to answer your call. Understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to answer your call for an entire week, Gump. That's unacceptable. Okay. What was I saying? What was I saying, Travis?
The McCarthy situation. You mentioned the McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
Situation.
Yeah.
That's what the Jaguars backfield.
And then you think about now the draft's over. You have confidence of players. You have coaches going to correct the record when they can. And I think when the ETN news broke that they're not that high on ETN, and that they weren't, it wasn't the player they drafted, it wasn't Cohen's guy, you would have maybe heard some sort of refuting of that. Like, we love ETN. The only thing that makes me think, I don't know, maybe everybody's still wrong, and then maybe Cohen will correct the record, or maybe he's one of those guys who doesn't care what people think, misdirection, and he's told ETN, one-on-one what he thinks. Like, I know you might be reading this in the, on the news wires. Don't pay attention to it. You're my guy. But the thing is, this is these are two things that you can take from what Cohen said when he first got the job. He said, you know, what do you think? Or he's describing his situation. He goes, well, how could you not be excited about this team? You get BTJ 10 targets a game, and we were like, you know, 10. I mean, not that we don't want more, like we want a little bit more pieces of flair, but we'll take it. 10 targets a game. You know, it's like, yeah, buddy. That was fantastic to hear. So 10 targets a game. The second thing he said after he said that was, you get ETN 20 carries a game. And then and so that makes you think, okay, he likes ETN. But then he said, or Bigsby 20 carries a game. So he said ETN 20 carries a game or Bigsby 20 carries a game. So it's like, he mentioned ETN. ETN was the second player he mentioned, but then why did he like say Bigsby? So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know why he hasn't corrected the record. As a coach, I would, like, especially if someone were to follow up and say, is it true that, you know, you don't like ETN? Like, I don't know if anybody's followed up on any sort of, if he's done any press conferences since. So I really don't have that information, but I do feel like it does feel like there's a vibe that they don't want to go toward ETN. And usually when this stuff happens, a trade ends up happening after. Like, it's a little bit of a telling sign of where things are going to go. And then the news breaking on it makes it worse, and then the team gets a call because of the news, and maybe they wouldn't have shopped them, but because the news broke on it and everybody's talking about it, they answer the phone and they're like, well, we weren't going to trade him, but this news hit. What do you want? And then they're like, this is what we want, and then he ends up getting traded. ETN is probably more likely than Kenneth Walker to get traded at this point, and ETN is probably the most likely player to get traded in the National Football League if a running back is to get traded. So it is cloudy until then, but I do believe that you're safest to grab the two younger players, Bigsby and Tootin. Bigsby won't get traded because of his contract versus ETN's contract. There's just no reason to. So the only move really is to grab Bigsby and Tootin, and that's what you roll with. You grab Tootin and Bigsby, you let ETN go.
So what about like in a redraft situation? Are you staying away from that backfield, or because
hell no,
it goes so late?
Yeah, I'm Tootin. I'm Tootin. I mean, that's why the mid-season monsters. I would never put someone on the mid-season monsters that I wouldn't want to own it in redraft. Like
over Bigsby, you think right now?
Tootin's getting drafted a lot higher than Bigsby, so you have to draft Tootin, but you want both of them. You have to have both of them. This is kind of like, if you want an example, this is my Mason and Garendo of 2025. Mason and Garendo were the cheapest. If it doesn't work, who cares? But if it works, you're going to the promised land duo in fantasy. Mason, it was never just Mason, it's Mason Garendo. Mason Garendo, Mason Garendo, Mason Garendo. And just like it's going to always be Tootin Bigsby, Tootin Bigsby, Tootin Bigsby. You just got to have both of them. If you don't have both, because I can't guarantee they're both so good, I can't give you any guarantees. I have no idea what Cohen's going to do. But what I can tell you, what I do have are a particular set of skills I've acquired over a long career, skills that make me a nightmare for your league mates, that tells me that ETN mixed with some struggles, some, 10,000 coaching changes, 10,000 offense changes, and then the injury concern and being worked like a dog the past couple of years. And they've even said we got to back off using ATN, and they keep smashing them down the middle and up the gut. There's a higher likelihood of failure for ETN than success, I feel. Now, ETN, I will say this. If he's cheap, if he falls, very, very far, and you can just grab all three, it's not the easiest plan to deploy. It really isn't, because that's three players. But it depends on the league. If your league has huge bench spots, like if you could take Bigsby and put him, your practice squad parameters might be able to do this or not. So it's really, this is the kind of example, like Dynasty League, for example. You have ETN, Bigsby, and Tootin, and Tootin's on your practice squad. Bigsby's either on your bench, or if your practice squad allows for such things, you could throw him there. Like, that's where you would want to own all three. And you really should until it gets ironed out. You know, I have Etienne and Bigsby in one league, and I'm going to draft Tootin. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Did Wolf come back? Wolf, you're back?
Yeah, he
okay.
Came back and started throwing. It wasn't anything like awful, but he's throwing.
Okay, Wolf, you're on your last warning. You don't even get another warning. You're on your last attempt. So either be cool or you know, yeah, either be cool or you're gone. Be cool or you're gone. If you like the channel, stay, bro. We no one's saying they don't want you here. You're the one that's causing problems. Yeah. Okay.
Might have super chat. I'll jump off though.
All right. Appreciate you, Travis. We'll be back tonight. Later, bro.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thank you, BBQ, for dropping that other 20 gifted memberships. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Absolute man, the myth, the legend. Okay. Jaws, appreciate you dropping the super chat. What round you snagging Kyle Williams startup 12-team Superflex? I don't know. Like, I would say double-digit rounds. I don't know where. My best advice is to look at the suggested ADP rank, not to take him exactly there, but like, for example, this is because every league's going to be different. In Superflex, your platform's going to change where he's suggested to be ranked, but this is how you do that. So if you're sitting here and let's say this is like round 15, 16, and 17, and you're on the clock here, and here, right? And so you're on the clock here and you look at the pre-rank and he's way down there and you count how many spots he is, or it tells you the ADP. His ADP is blah, blah, blah. Is that ADP right here or here or here? Then you take him at this spot. If his ADP is here, 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 you kind of, if you want him, have to reach. So just find out where his ADP or suggested rank is going to slot him, and just make sure that there's some buffer, you know, so that it isn't like, oh, he's going to go 1 or 2 spots or exactly at this pick. And if he's your guy, you want to take him here. But you don't want to take him here if his ADP is here or right here. Then you'll want to take him here. So just, you're going to have to look. I can't tell you the exact pick, but you can definitely count it out and find out where the safe place is to grab him without reaching too far or without getting sniped. So that's basically how you implement anything, really, when you're on the clock. We'll be back tonight to draft on Underdog. That link is pinned in the live chat. The link's in the description of the video. Here's the link one more time. If you guys want to draft with us tonight, hit that link, do it live. Appreciate you all. I will see you tonight at midnight Eastern-ish. Might be like 12:30-ish. Might be 12:30-ish. Drop a like on the way out the door. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you, BBQ. Guys, thank BBQ with the BBQ emoji. He has his own emoji. Thank New Age Outlaw. Drop the Ron Navy emoji. But specifically BBQ's tonight. He was dropping gifted memberships for all of you all night long. See you tonight. Appreciate you.
Hi, I'm worried William, and my mommy just warmed me up a hot pocket, and I've never even talked to a hot chick.
Mr. London, what seems to be the problem? I've been a little off. Can't seem to get things going, if you know what I mean. I think I have just the thing for you, Mr. London.